Hey guys, and welcome to Gwent, the Witcher card game. My name is Jaggerous, and today I have another Fan Friday deck video for you guys. So if you would like me to play your deck, then you can submit your deck in the Fan Friday channel in the Discord link below in the description. Today's deck comes from Jose Ortiz, I hope I'm saying your name right, and that is a Imlerith Sabbath deck. Imlerith Sabbath, new card that got added to the game. Every turn, duel the highest enemy on turn end. If this unit survives, heal it by 2 and give it 2 armor. And he has 2 armor himself. So the idea is that when you play Imlerith, he then fights the highest enemy, and if your opponent doesn't remove him, he'll keep doing that every turn. So it's kind of a battle between you and your opponent of whether they can remove Imlerith and whether you can keep him on the board. Now, the way this kind of works is Imlerith is a Wild Hunt unit and an officer. So he's a Wild Hunt, which means that when you play your Wild Hunt Drakkar, boost all Wild Hunt allies by 1. Whenever another Wild Hunt ally appears, boost it by 1. So we can actually use the Drakkars in order to boost the Imlerith in order to deal more damage. On top of that, in order to make sure that we find him, we have Royal Decree, play a gold unit from your deck. And if he dies, we have Renew, resurrect a non-leader gold unit. And we can also try and find him with Gales. Look at a gold and a silver card from your deck, then play one and move the other to the top of your deck. And Gales is actually Wild Hunt himself, so he's going to synergize nicely with these Wild Hunt units as well. We have Eredin as our leader, which we can use to spawn another Wild Hunt unit, which means that we can get another Drakkar, for example. Alternatively, we can use a Navigator to pull a Drakkar out of our deck. Then we have a kind of Frost package, which is going to be useful for whittling away the strength of units. So if a unit that your opponent plays is really strong, you're going to want to hit it so that Imlerith will be able to kill it. In which case you have your Frosts, so you have your 3 Biting Frosts, and then you have your Hounds, which will pull the Frost from your deck. And then on top of that you have the Riders, which will make your Frost deal more damage, and you have your Warriors, you can just use to shoot things if you want to make them kind of more targetable, basically. On top of that, we have Mandrake, which we can use to heal Imlerith, and we can also use it to strengthen him, which means that when we resurrect him with Renew, he's going to be even more powerful. We have Last Wish in order to help us find the cards that we need. We have Operator to make a second Drakkar, or sorry, a 4th Drakkar technically, but it makes us an extra Drakkar. And we have Frightener in order to draw a card. Then we have Abaya for Weather Clear, and I guess Arachas Venom just to deal damage. And we have White Frost for more weather. These are the 2 cards I would probably change, is Abaya and White Frost. I think the problem with this deck is if they lock your Sabbath, then you're kind of scuppered. So teching in Morvud, for example, would be really useful. Morvud giving you the ability to lock an enemy or unlock an opponent. So that's probably one of the changes that I would make. And I feel like White Frost is maybe low tempo and a little bit overkill. In which case, you kind of want to add something that's going to work better with the deck, so then something that deals damage would be pretty good. So something like maybe a Vader Maker, which gives you an Alzur's Thunder, because I think Alzur's Thunder is more useful than Arachas Venom. Alternatively, you could just put Roach in for thinning. Anyway, that's my kind of thoughts on the deck. So without further ado, I'm going to jump into a game and I'll showcase this Imlerith Sabbath deck in action.
Uncrate! You shall die, worm.
Okay, so this mulligan is really easy. We do not want Frosts in our hand. We have Gales, which will find us Sabbath, because it'll give us Royal Decree or Sabbath, so that's really good. We're against Crack and Crate, which may be Greatswords, and it may be Veterans. So we have to be a little bit kind of aware of that. Okay, so our opponent is going first. We'll find out what kind of deck it is.
Mayhap you gawk at Arachania's marvels too one day.
Okay, so it is Veterans. If we pull Imlerith, he's going to be a 5. He's going to hit him, then take 2 armor damage. So Imlerith will actually kill him. So I think we want to set up Imlerith now. And then we'll draw into White Frost on the next round. So there we go. It does mean we have a dead Royal Decree. So that's just something we have to be a little bit wary of with this deck, because Royal Decree only pulls units. So it's not the bestest of situations. And this is where we want to use our Mandrake on Imlerith, because when we do that, he will then get boosted, and it means that he can't banish him. So let's heal a unit and strengthen it, like so, boom, and then he'll hit that guy and kill him. Now he's dead. And basically, the Opponent has to do something about this, and if he doesn't do something about this, he's going to start having a really bad time. So we'll see what he chooses to do in terms of this round.
You've got the heart of an uncrate.
And the thing is, we would rather win. We would rather win on even than go down a card. So let's just frost him now. And I wonder if our opponent has realized that they're going to have a really hard time in this matchup. There's the pass. We take the pass. And then we can push for a 2-0 basically here. We don't want to give him an easy round. We'd rather just kind of push. And we can see he doesn't have counters to the Sabbath. So we may as well try and kind of force him into a tricky situation. We throw the Royal Decree and hope we don't get a Frost, because Royal Decree is not a brilliant card. And then we'll play a boat now, so we'll play a Drakar.
He don't like you.
Awesome, so now we can play the Renew, and that'll kill this bear. We'll take this fat 11 strength Sabbath, slap it back down on the board, kill the bear. And you can see he's actually at 12 now because he got boosted by the Drakar, the Wild Hunt Drakar. So that's really good. And so there's the Mandrake. So he's weakened the guy, and by weakening him, it means that he's gonna, you know, not deal as much damage.
We know the mysteries of time.
But so long as we utilize our Frost and our... As long as we utilize our Frost and our Drakar, I think it should be okay, especially because he's armoring up each time.
I promise you a quick death.
Okay, so he's gonna deal 6 to this guy, bringing him down to a 3. But actually what we can do is apply Frost. And then by applying Frost, what this does is that guy will take... Oh, he doesn't. He does the fight first. Oh, my bad. I thought he would take the Frost damage first, but it didn't actually happen that way. So they fight before the Frost, which is good to know.
Come here. Come get a heart, a bear hug.
So if we shoot this guy, he goes down to an 8. So then we hit him for 5. We take 3 damage. And then we kill him. So let's play this.
Resistance is futile.
And basically we just want to keep fighting whatever he plays. And you'll see there, then we heal and we gain 2 armor.
Asking me for help.
Okay.
Now that's smart.
So there is the new Dandelion card. He basically adds 5 points to whatever you play. And this guy, he has to play big units, realistically, or he has to deal damage.
Modern Freyr is
Oh, he's going to
patient,
shoot him, isn't he?
but she
Oh, he didn't
brooks
shoot
no
him.
insult.
I'm surprised he didn't resurrect the Hunter. Like, the Brookfall Hunter would have basically helped him a huge deal here. As it is, we'll do this. We're up 41 points.
Moorhawk devour ye.
So he's going to have to fight a 9. This will heal him by 1. This will give us a warrior. So then he'd have to fight a 6. But he's still going to die in that situation. So I guess it's time for Imlerith to die. But he's kind of done his job at this point. So now let's just apply more Frost. And effectively the plan here is to round this out with a load of points from Wild Hunt units. So we'll play the Rider in the back row, we'll play the Drakar, and then we'll pull a Drakar from the Eredin.
May Modron Freya watch us and keep us.
Okay, so the Rider comes out in the back row. I mean, we're down a card, but we're up 28 points with a few turns of Frost.
I can do a great deal more for you.
Okay, so let's play this. Boost all of those Wild Hunt units. And then the thing is with Eredin is a Wild Hunt unit, as is Eredin is a Wild Hunt unit, as is the Drakar, so it's a pretty solid situation here. Black blood, that's weird. Abaya clear skies. I mean, he denies like 6 damage and he heals for 2, so that's a decent play. But let's go with this into this, and we'll slam this down on this back row, just so that we're not stacking the boats too much, because, you know, we want them to be blocked, which we've managed to achieve. He's got 50 points, so what have you got? Restore. Yeah, Restore is not a 50-point play. And that's what happens if Imlerith is not kept in check. But the thing is, if they check Imlerith, you just lose. So it's a kind of a tricky one to get the feel for. I'm going to go to the deck builder now, and I'll make a couple tweaks to the deck, and then we'll play it again with the tweaks, and we're going to see how that works out. So, like I say, I feel like Abaya is a bit meh, and I don't really like the White Frost, because, you know, we saw there White Frost did kind of nothing for us, so we'll take these out. And then in terms of the silvers, I think that I really like, let me think. Like, Jotun is actually probably pretty good here because he deals damage and he moves units. So I actually quite like Jotun as an inclusion here with the synergy with the Frost. And then I also like... What did I say? You could put Roach in. You could put Vader Maker in. Let's just have a kind of a little look at these cards and make a plan. Even like Monster's Nest is pretty good because you can use it to find a Drowner, and Drowners are going to let you kind of deal damage to units. Basically, you want options in order to deal damage, because if you can deal damage, it's going to give your opponent a harder time. And I think you want single target damage realistically, so that is kind of what we're looking for in here. Mertabrak is not terrible because it gives you the option of up to 6 damage. Basically, we want a way of dealing damage so that we can work with our Sabbath. I think we probably go Vader Maker. I'm going to go Vader Maker. Right, that will do, you guys, so we'll leave it at that. And now, let's jump into another ranked game and play this deck again.
Of course, friend.
You shall die, worm.
Okay, so this time around we're against Bran. In terms of mulligan, if you have Frost, you want to throw them. You also want to try and actually find Giels or Imlerith or a way to play him. So I'm going to blacklist this guy for now. That'll do. I actually don't mind this hand. This hand is pretty solid. We maybe could throw a Navigator just to try and find something, you know, a bit more useful. And that's pretty good. So we could open with Sabbath, but if he kills it, that's kind of awkward. In which case, what I quite like to do is open with the Drakar. Because by opening with a Drakar, it means that when you play your Sabbath, he's going to be boosted. And he's also going to be boosted by the Royal Decree. Which means that when we do get round to playing him, he's going to be hitting for 8 instead of 5.
Of course, friend.
So what have we got? Ceres, Olgierd, and a bear. So I like this play now. We could play Giels to draw him, but like realistically, we don't want to do that because Giels doesn't boost him. And we want him to be boosted. So there we go. Now he hits for 8 at a time, which is pretty good. And there's the pass. And this is great because we can then renew him. The only thing is when we do renew him, he's only going to be a... If we do renew him, he's only going to be a 5. So we have to kind of time this well. Giels is going to give us a silver, so Frightener, Jotun, or Operator. Navigator, we can pull a Drakar or a Rider. I think this hand is alright. Okay, so let's play the renew. Bring him back. And he should just kill Olgierd there. And then we can Mandrake him up to an 11. And then we can start playing Frost. And that's our strategy here. The only thing we need to be wary of is when we play the Giels, because it might give us Operator. If it gives us Operator, you know, that's kind of a big deal. There's Restore, so he's going to play probably something big. An 11 Strength Bear. But an 11 Strength Bear is no match for an 11 strength Imlerith. Hiya!
Modern Freyr is patient,
Well, that's not
but
a
she
value
brooks
play.
knowing.
And that's more or less how it goes. If your opponent can't counter the Imlerith, then you win. And if they can counter the Imlerith, then you lose. That is kind of how the deck is. The problem at the moment is there's a lot of Radovid on the ladder. So a lot of people are playing this Radovid deck with lots of armor. And that completely messes with your strategy. So this deck in that matchup is not very good. The other thing is, I feel like if you're going for this sort of matchup, then maybe you could tweak the deck such that you utilize boosting instead of straight frost. So for example, if we go to the deck builder, what you might want to do is you might want to look at things like, where is it? The Wyvern Scale Shield with something like a Cyclops, because Cyclops you can then kill your own units to deal damage to guarantee your Sabbath deals damage, and the Wyvern Scale Shield you can then also use it to boost. So if you have a Cyclops in your hand, you can then boost Sabbath by 11. And because the thing is, if he stays at 5, it's very difficult, especially in these armor matchups. And Radovid is just a bit awkward because they guarantee having a lock. And Morvad was the card I actually couldn't remember I wanted to put in the deck, but I actually would suggest taking out probably the Jotun, because we didn't see great value out of that, and putting in a Morvad, because by adding a Morvad, you're basically giving yourself the option to unlock, and you can also use it to counter your opponent if they don't have a lock. So I really like that. But let me know what you guys think of the deck in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this video, you can always leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to submit a deck for Fan Fridays, there'll be a link to my Discord in the description, and you can post your deck in the Fan Fridays channel. I always enjoy playing the things that you guys create. Thank you so much for watching, and if you want to catch me on Twitter, you can follow me at Jaggerous, and you can also find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Jaggerous. Have a great day, and hopefully I'll catch you in the next video.